Welcome to August 2024 Cata vlog 8. Wow, this is the 8th month that I've been Cata vlogging, and it's actually going to be one of the most difficult. August has been a very difficult month for me. I had some really bad news at the start of the month. My job is no more. I've been let go, and I've been working in the same organisation for 35 years. You wouldn't believe it, would you? But yeah, that's more than 35 years working in different jobs but within the same organisation. And no, I'm not. I've got some notice, so I've stopped working already, but I'm being paid for a while, as is customary, for the next few weeks. I'm in the process of looking for new work, and also I'm trying to establish new routines. I mean, one thing about when you've had a particular routine for such a long time, for 3.5 decades, it really is tough. I've been pretty upset at times, and there's a lot about it. Quite a lot of my colleagues didn't even know that I was leaving. I've been contacted by a few, and that's been lovely. I actually wrote a blog for the organisation, and it was published during my last week, and that I really appreciate the people who enabled that to happen. It was touch and go simply because I'm part of the LGBT network, but the chairs were both on holiday at that time, so I had to contact other people to get it cleared, to get it published. But it was a really important subject. It was about trans pride, and I attended Trans Pride this year for the first time, and I thought it was amazing. It was on the 27th of July. I'll try and include some clips and photos I took during the march. We met up at Langham Place next to the BBC, and there was such an enormous crowd. It was 55 to 60,000 people estimated to be attending from the steps of the church by Langham Place. All I could see was a sea of people all the way down Regent Street. The front of the march, I don't know where it was when we were stationary, but it took quite a while to get going. It took a long time to get down to Piccadilly, and then we headed west from Piccadilly Circus. So we went down Regent Street. I charged up my phone in the Apple store because I'd already taken so many pictures that my battery was suffering. And at Piccadilly, I met up with someone I know from Threads. That was lovely. I was on the lookout for a load of other people, but there were so many people. It was so overwhelmingly huge. I didn't get to see any of the people, didn't recognise anyone else. But fortunately, I went with a cis friend who I've known for 34 years, who's been supportive all the way through. So we had a break at Piccadilly, had an ice cream, went to Tesco, and police are rushing down towards Trafalgar Square, where there was a counter march. From our point of view, possibly difficult. There was a lot of worry that the people from there might come up and clash, but I think the police did a fairly good job. Some people, obviously, as single individuals, they can come, they can film people. It's a public street, they can do what they want. Some people from the Trans March were attempting to protect other marchers, which was a lovely gesture and very, very kind of them. And I thought our march was absolutely joyful. It was very noisy at times. There were lots of people with huge numbers of banners. It was really colourful, all kinds of costumes, everything under the sun. My friend made the observation that one of the previous marches she'd been on was about remaining before we actually did Brexit, but there were all these marches in 2017 and 2018, 2019. She observed that you just wouldn't get some of the people that were on our march. It was so individual. It was a real community, really lovely. There was so much trans joy, non-binary joy, gender fluid joy, so much euphoria. That was 27th of July. Then a few days later, I get bad news about my job. My mood has been up and down. It's crashed a lot. I've been having to think about what I can offer to the world, what kind of jobs I'm best at. I'm ADHD, do you say it like that? Autistic and ADHD. I think that's when it's put together in a portmanteau. I was struggling, I guess what you'd call a bad fit. I think it's important to be generous. It was likely becoming a situation where I wasn't going to fit in very well. There was an awful lot of changes. There was a lot of AI. I felt fairly despondent. I've been looking around. It's difficult finding jobs. I suppose there are jobs about. I could apply for a job in a supermarket. I was talking to someone I know in a supermarket and she said, yeah, go and apply. I'd probably run into similar problems there simply because I know how I am, and I've got a back injury and I've got other musculoskeletal difficulties. So that makes it more of a challenge. I mean, in a way, this is not you don't do that for job interviews, but this isn't a job interview. It's just me being honest to camera about the situation I'm in. And I'm making these videos. I might put some links to videos that I've been watching and still I'm watching to find useful tips to understand things, some good advice. But coming from a queer background, LGBTQIA plus, does make the situation more difficult. Probably be better off in an organisation that's accepting of marginalised groups and accepting of people with visible and invisible disabilities, because I seem to be facing a lot of that at the moment. Maybe I can get therapy and my musculoskeletal problems might be at an end. I really hope so. I found out I've also got possible glaucoma. Recently had an audiology appointment about my tinnitus. And I get misophonia, as I've explained in my film reviews. So I'm learning about myself. Last night I didn't sleep well, but I was reading posts on Threads, which I absolutely love. It's very therapeutic often, finding like-minded people, seeing how they deal with trolls and more difficult people as well. That can be very life-affirming because I have to challenge some of the internal voices which create doubt in my head. It's not a good option when you're not working, when you're, as they say, economically inactive. You need to be able to sell yourself. And so ideally, if I could find data processing, maybe in a small LGBT organisation, I may cover a lot more about my experiences. There's the financial angle. I mean, once the money dries up, what do I do? There's a lot to think about. I'm hyper monitoring, micromanaging my expenditure at present because I know that money, time, space, or resources, and they're limited. I'm also aware that sometimes I think I use vocal fry, and I'm trying not to, or not do too much of it. And I don't know, maybe I ought to analyse my voice a bit more. I don't know how I come across. Maybe I could ask AI to analyse this video to see what ChatGPT makes of my presentation skills and whether I would get through any interviews. I hope to get some interview practice with human beings obviously as well, but there's an awful lot that I need to think about. Watching videos, reading, learning, being on what is a very steep learning curve as I recover from not working. And today I'm going to my former employer LGBT staff network for a social. I'm very much looking forward to catching up with people whom I'm still in touch with. I did really appreciate some of my colleagues, both LGBTQ and my immediate team colleagues. They've been so lovely. I had a lovely leaving card and it meant so much. So I've talked a lot this month, haven't I? I think it's going to be several times longer than my previous entry. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Thanks if you do subscribe. See you next month. Bye for now.